like it. Because this is the last line. Water sound. This is the Japanese. Mizu no oto. Do you hear the sound? Mizu no oto. The frog jumping into the pond. I hear multiple sounds. Mizu no oto. You hear the frog jumping in, the splash of water. You hear the frog also go. And this one, I hear water. Even though it looks like water sound is only 3 syllables, it has the weight in English of the 5 syllables in the last syllable. And if you say sound, you hear also that same dropping in sound. Water sound. Old pond, and the frog jump in, water sound. And there are many, many translations. This page has 30 different translations. I like this one.
How are there so many translations?
What? Because people are trying to emulate different things in the poem.
I mean, but at a certain point, it's less a translation and more like they're actually adding some of that.
There's not always a direct English translation.
Yeah, you can word for word English translate, but if you think about how Japanese works, it works differently.
Yeah.
And Japanese, if you think about it, is a time language. English is a stress language. Everybody understand the difference? No. Yes, very good. People who didn't know, very good. A time language means that meaning is made by the length of the syllable in time. A stress language is made by how you punch the syllable. So all of us, if you say a 2-syllable word, one of those syllables has a stress. Yes? That's why in Shakespeare you can do iambic pentameter, because you stress every other syllable. Right? So, for example, a name like Ryan, where's the stress?
Ryan.
The Y, yes. In Japanese, it's a time language, so that the word Oba-san, no, Oba-san is not the same as Oba-san. You hear the difference? The only difference in those two is that the middle syllable, the ba, is shorter in one and longer in the other. And the first one, Oba-san, means auntie, and Oba-san means grandmother. So you see, there's 2 different kinds of languages, so when you translate, it makes a difference. Yeah. So the weight of the language is different, so you have to work on that too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, English is pretty confusing as well, so.
And you notice by other languages as well, you notice that a lot of the Latin languages have gender. Yes, attached to things, whereas English does not, yes. We say the table and we mean just the table, whereas the French will say what? La table, which means the table, but it's the girl table. Yeah.
Everything in French sucks.
All right. Okay. What other things, people? If you have written haiku before, you can contribute to this discussion. What other things are important in haiku? Nature. Anything else? What? Imagery. Sound.
Emotion.
What kind of emotion?
Anything.
I think it's like showing rather than telling.
You do a haiku about peace.
Concrete is one thing that's important. Yeah, you have to look at a concrete image. That is generally one of the things. There's one other thing we haven't really talked about. What is that? Season.
Yeah, it's the season.
Or time. Season or time. Okay, can you scroll down to the commentary?
Wait, so how does the haiku rhythm work? Is it just one? I mean, do they just like...
Otherwise, it can be
Micro
breath.
So it's, wait, how does it work then?
Three things. One image, visual, so on, one.
Okay, here we go. So this is a commentary by, scroll this down, talk about the rules so you can see who it's by. Commentary by Robert Aitken. Okay? Old pond, the frog jumps in, the sound of water. Kuruikeya, old pond, kawazu komikomu, frog jumps in, mizu no oto, water sound. Go up a little bit. No, down, sorry. Down. Okay, ya is a cutting word that separates and joins the expressions before and after. It's a punctuation that marks the transition of particles anticipation. So actually, the word ya has no meaning. It's actually a formal element that is a cutting sound, and it actually is a transitional element. Though there's a pause in the beginning at the end of the first segment, the next two segments have no pause between them in the original. The words in the second and third parts go steadily to the final word. This is a penetrating impact. The frog jumps in, wide sound. Haiku poets normally play with their base of three parts, running the meaning past the end of one segment to the next, playing with their form, as all artistic variations in the form they are working with. Actually, the term haiku, the name haiku means play verse. You play with verse. There's more commentary. I will hold this up. You can read some of this commentary by Robert Aitken. Anybody know Robert Aitken? He died in 2010 at the age of 93. Zen Roshi, Zen master. Where is he from?
Wait, can you say it again?
Robert Aitken is one of the founders of the Diamond Sangha, who is started here, a Zen conclave started here.
Zed, you're gonna get the white first name with that E.
Robert Aitken, he's born in Iowa, I think, but someplace in the place, but lived most of his life here. Zen master, Zen version. Okay, some other things about haiku is some of the wonderful stories. You know, the Zen masters are always trying to be in touch with the moment, yes? And it's an interesting haiku, and it talks about why this, if you read the commentary, it talks about why this is a great haiku. I mean, one of the things that, you can scroll back down to the poem itself, down the other way. Yeah, sorry about that. Is that old pond, what's the season?
Some spring or summer.
Winter.
It's fall, it's going to winter. Old pond, yes. The water is still there, but it's, yeah. What is the old pond a reference to? The agelessness of the universe and the soul of the poet himself, Basho, as a neutral poet.
How did you get that out of the way?
Why is it so
It's all there.
And
And the frog. Frog, generally a cute, young, green symbol of spring, jumping into the water, into the next stage. The water, all of the universe. Yes. Ripples, yes, ripples.
That's really neat.
Yeah, this is very
Deep like the old pond.
This is very deep. 17 syllables. Very deep. And here is a wonderful kind of legend about Basho.
Does that have any relation to Gasho?
We do not know if this is true or not, but here's the legend about Basho. They were sitting around like a lot of Zen poets did, and they were all drunk.
Like a lot
They
of
were
Zen
drinking,
poets.
yes. And someone threw out the first line, and he immediately finished the poem.
Wait, what did he say? He just said,
remembering.
Somebody said, Kuruikia, and he went, that was because we go, these are no.
What?
You could ask them funny.
Why is it that poem so famous though? Because I mean, there could be other poems written in just as deep relatively.
I will post the commentary, and you can see the.
Context, like context.
I will post the commentary, and you can see how the commentator talks about how another one of Basho's poems, which he wrote 6 years earlier than this, is less mature, where the focus on the season, is more direct. It's not as subtle. So this one is very subtle. The last time we did a kind of writing project, we did a show here called Jammin', and we wrote poetry. And Tucker Hayworth wrote 2 poems, more than 2, but 2 poems that were performed in the show. One of the poems was called Lazy 2. because in the first poetry show he worked on, which is called Local Poetry Jam, he wrote a poem called Lazy. And he did Lazy 2, and he performed it basically primarily lying down here on the platform. And it was a long poem, probably 3.5 pages long. And even though it was a poem about laziness, he worked a month on it. Every day he wrote a new draft. Yeah. So he worked probably the hardest thing I've seen anybody work on a poem called Lazy. Yeah. That is one thing he wrote. Another thing he wrote is he wrote a haiku. An amazing piece of haiku. This was the haiku, I'll quote you. I must write haiku. It will be the best haiku. I start. Oh, finished. And exactly. Now, if you think about this, I was talking to someone other yesterday, because if you look at this haiku, what does it have in it? It has time.
It has a whole journey.
It has a whole journey. It has and it jumps like this from youthful ambition. I must write haiku. It will be the best haiku. I start, and how quickly it goes. I start. Oh, I finished. Life is so short.
Whoa.
It's like autumn. The jump to autumn is oh, finished.
Wait, what?
At the end.
Autumn?
Yeah.
Season?
Yeah. It starts. He's got actually 3 seasons in it: spring, autumn, winter.
Oh, okay. Everything but summer.
Yeah, I mean he jumps. It's like a jump from spring. I mean you could probably say he has to go through summer too. I start, which is spring.
I thought he started off in summer.
No, spring. Well, it might be that the spring is the first 2 lines. The ambition that's driving you. I must write haiku. It will be the best haiku. Ambition. It's a commentary on ambition too. And then he comes. I start. Oh, finished. How quickly. I'm old. I feel it. How quickly. I feel like yesterday I was you guys. And today. Okay. So we have about an hour. Let's see if we can watch a little bit more Philip Glass. And then